geekdom. I'm Brian Nugent. It's Saturday morning, kind of. It's not really Saturday morning, but let's just go with it, shall we? It's Saturday morning, and we're back with another startling episode of Stace and Barry in the Morning. As I've already said, I'm Brian Nugent, aka the Nuge, aka Nude Cake, aka Captain Picard. That's a lie, because Captain Picard is a bald white dude.
You're halfway there.
I'm halfway there. I'm just about to introduce you.
Sorry, I'm not here. I'm a mirage. I'm an audio mirage.
And next to me do you know what? Just say good morning. Jeez.
Hello, morning everyone. Cheers and that.
Did you say tears or cheers?
Cheers. And then I realised that it's supposed to be Saturday morning, and like, do people cheers with like cups of coffee? Don't know. Answers on a postcard or Twitter. Hello, Barry.
Hello, Stace.
You all right, dude?
I'm good. I'll just like to take a moment just to say today's episode of Stace and Barry is sponsored by Desperado. Desperado, the beer of choice for a Saturday morning. Desperate.
Yeah. Desperate. I love it. My end of the conversation is brought to you by a lot of gas that was provided by Tango. Certainly an orange beverage that will make you burp. That's a good slogan, that, I think.
Is it though?
Definitely. This is kind of like when Chandler and Friends decided to try and go into marketing, isn't it? And he was like, shorts, they're like pants, but longer.
That would work for me, though.
Anyway.
Anywho, intro's done.
Intros are done.
Time for a feature, I reckon.
Oh, core blimey. There's no messing with you, is there?
No messing. That's our role, isn't it, Gov? Do you know what I mean? You ain't got nothing to call me copper. Shut it, filth.
God, it's very aggressive.
I know, sorry.
That's usually my job.
It sounded really Victorian. Oh, gosh, it's really aggressive.
Good heavens, Barry.
Good heavens.
Good heavens, Sir Barrington of Nugington Cake.
Officer, clap that man in chains.
Off with his head, what? Anyway, let's do a segment, shall we? Shall we start with a bit of our picks of the fortnight?
Let's do it.
Picks of the fortnight. Jazz.
Get your pick of the fortnights. Get your pick of the fortnights. God blimey, Governor. Get your pick of the fortnights. Oi, shut it.
I like that. Get your pick of the fortnight, but shut it, though.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought that gag through.
Barry.
Yes, Stace.
That's my pick of the fortnight, Barry.
Okay. I like it. I like what you're doing. I like the energy. It's good.
It's good, isn't it? Unfortunately, I don't mean you. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I mean, I do love you. I do love you, but I mean Barry the TV show.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I generally thought fuck you.
Excuse me, have you ever picked me as your pick of the fortnight? No, so shut your fucking mouth.
Touche.
How about that? No, shut up. Right, listen, Barry.
Yes.
Barry is a TV show. Have we talked about this briefly before? I feel like we might have.
I'm pretty sure if you'd mentioned my namesake in any shape or form, I would have spent at least 20 minutes on it. So no.
Okay, cool. Well, Barry is a TV show that stars Bill Hader, who is better known as being like a tippity top comedian writer type person. And it is about it's about a hitman who decides he wants to quit hitmanning and become an actor, but it doesn't really go the way that he plans. And it's a really hard show to explain without giving loads of stuff away, because it's one of those shows that, like, the premise is ridiculous. Like, just saying what it was about probably didn't entice anybody at all, because it sounds weird as fuck. But it's like, it's really funny, but it's also really fucking drama. And it's so, like, there are episodes that end and you're like, oh no, what's going to happen now? So series 2 just finished, and I think I might actually be in love with it. It's like, I think it might be one of the best shows on telly at the moment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really good. Bill Hader, like, it's funny because I've always liked Bill Hader, but in a very sort of like, oh, isn't he cute and funny kind of way. But in Barry, he's just got like this intensity about him in all of his scenes that it's just like I feel like he's been sleeping on all of this talent for a really long time, and he's actually like genuinely amazing. And there's bits in it as well where he has to act like he's not good at acting, which I feel like must be difficult for people that clearly can.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And the guy from Happy Days is in it. What's his name? Henry Winkler.
Yes, I've seen a trailer for this. He's the he runs the sort of acting group, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And he is absolutely brilliant. Like, I won't spoil anything, but the things that happened in this season that affect his like arc have shown just what an amazing range he has as well as an actor. Because I'll be honest, I've never really seen him in anything because I didn't watch Happy Days. I know, I'm sorry.
You never saw him jump the shark?
No. I'm a very young person.
But you know that's where the phrase comes from, don't you?
I did not know that. No.
Yeah, jump the shark comes from the Happy Days episodes where the Fonz jumps over a shark in the motorbike.
That sounds amazing and so stupid.
And that's my educating Stace.
I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, he's absolutely cracking in Barry. And yeah, there were some episodes this series where like his girlfriend in the show starts sort of talking about like her abusive past, and there's like a lot of like depth and character development, but also, like I say, it is genuinely funny in places. Like there's a particular character that I love who oh god, his name escapes me and that's going to really annoy me, but he plays like the leader of this group of sort of gangsters that are stopping Barry from getting out of the hitman game kind of thing. And he's so funny. There's like an episode where he's literally having a conversation with like somebody on the IKEA helpline about trying to order a table, and he's trying to ask them whether or not it's good for cocaine or not, because that's what he's going to do. He's going to make cocaine on this table. And he's just there on the phone like, but will it be good for cocaine or not? Like, it's amazing. I love it. I can't say enough good things about this show, but I'll have to stop talking about it because otherwise I will drop some like spoily clangers. But seriously, get on this shit. It's good.
So that's really Barry. Good. What's it on?
The telly. I don't know. Rich just puts things in front of my eyes and I go, cool, that's good, isn't it?
Okay. I think it's I think it's on Sky Atlantic, maybe. I've seen it on my TV.
Yeah.
I've just not watched it.
Oh, well, definitely give it a whirl because, oh, baby, it's good. And I think there's only like 8 episodes per season. So that's
okay.
It's not the world's biggest. It might be 8 or 9. It's not a huge commitment. Yeah, definitely worth. Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it.
Cool.
There was one episode this season, though, that I can't figure out whether I think it was like the best thing in the world or so fucking what. But I can't really talk about it because it would ruin the crap out of it for you. But if you do watch it and you get to that episode in series 2, you'll know exactly what I mean.
Okay.
So yeah, give it a whirl. Barry.
Cool. Barry, cool. Shouldn't be able to forget that one. So.
Yeah, I'd like to think you wouldn't forget that one.
Nah. Okay. Right. Well, my pick of the fortnight is probably quite a well-known one. It has split the internet in 2.
Oh dear.
And that is Game of Thrones.
That's how it goes, isn't it?
Game of Thrones. Anyway, yes. So one of the largest pop culture phenomenons came to an end this week, and I was there for it. I watched it, and I have to say, I'm very much, in this day and age anyway, I'm very much a believer of it's all about the journey as opposed to the destination.
Yeah.
And one of the, I'm not going to spoil it for people, so don't worry. But I know that this season in particular completely split people, with a lot of people saying they really enjoyed it, but just as many people saying they absolutely hated it, to the extent that there's been a petition raised to hire new writers to rewrite the entire 8th season.
What actual madness.
Yeah, which is just...
What?
I mean, if you need me to tell you what's wrong with that, then you're on a hide into nothing, really. It's just ridiculous, you know. I get the fact that, I mean, there's plenty of shows where I've watched prime example, I'll come back to Game of Thrones, prime example, Supernatural. Absolutely love Supernatural. They always said they were only going to do 5 seasons. I watched 5 seasons. The season finale I thought was fantastic, and I thought that's how you end a TV show. Oh no, there's season 6. Oh no, there's season 7. Oh no, there's, and we're now up to, I think, season 12.
Oh dear.
And I think it's ending now. But, you know, at the end of the day, I wasn't happy with that. But rather than completely losing my shit, I just stopped watching the show. I dip in every so often, but effectively I just stopped watching the show.
Yeah.
And I remember what I enjoyed about the show.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those weird things to me, in that like my big sort of similarity to this situation would be the How I Met Your Mother final season. It's not a very good final season.
No,
and it doesn't end comfortably or nicely, I don't think, at all. But I got to the end of it, and yeah, I was disappointed that it didn't end in a satisfying way. But like, here's the thing. The writers can write what they want to write, and like, it's well within my rights for me to not enjoy it, but it is not up to me to say, no, do it again, you fucked it up. Like, I'm not entitled to that just because I've put X amount of hours into watching and appreciating this show. Like, yes, it would be great if it could finish in a way that I was, you know, happy with, but if it doesn't, and also with Game of Thrones as well, I feel like there's this whole other thing where it's like, well, you've still got the book to come out, and that might be better. It probably will be better. So just calm your tits and read that later.
Yeah, I just, you know, but I think at the end of the, you know, but on saying that, you know, I understand that I have criticisms about the final episode. It wasn't perfect, but I kind of went into it knowing that it wasn't going to be.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I think everybody knew that, didn't they? Because even, like, it's kind of a well-known fact that a lot of the writers were rushing through it so that they could go and do a Star Wars. So...
I'll tell you what, if that's rushing through a show, I mean, fair play. Because some of the, you know, there was one episode in particular where it was basically an hour long, well, over an hour long battle scene. And it was phenomenal. And I think I heard that it was something like 50 days shooting at night in the cold and all the rest of it. Yeah, it's phenomenal. And I just think sometimes we kind of forget, as I'm addressing this to the geeks now, not the non-geeks that have kind of jumped on to like Game of Thrones and stuff like that, but geeks that have known this sort of genre from back in the day. Certainly when I was a kid or adult, whatever, there was nothing like this. You know, the closest you got to like high fantasy was like Hercules' Legendary Adventures and Xena. Do you know what I mean? So for me, every time I watch Game of Thrones, I'm kind of like, I'm just grateful that this is the level of TV we get now that we can argue over, because there's so much stuff out there now. And also, there's a lot of shows that I really enjoyed, like Into the Badlands, who got cancelled and weren't allowed to get a proper ending. Whereas at least sort of Game of Thrones has actually given you an ending. Can you imagine if they didn't get another season?
Oh yeah, it would have been an absolute nightmare. I think some people as well though need to just sit back and realise like just how much effort goes into a thing. It's not like somebody spent literally 5 minutes farting out a shit episode and went, here you go, have this piece of shit. Like, a ton of people put a lot of time and effort and love into writing it, acting it, producing it, filming it, you know, like, and it's not, yeah, it's not going to be the kind of thing, like, you can't get it rewritten. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter if literally every person in the world signs that petition and says, yeah, we want a new series 8 or whatever series it's up to, because it's not going to happen. It's expensive to make a series of Game of Thrones.
But also as well, let's just say in the perfect world, they got a ridiculous amount of signatures, and the writers went, okay, F it, we're going to do it again. What do you guys want? Guarantee that the majority, that literally every one of those people is going to have a different idea of how it should end.
Yeah, so zero agreement.
It's going to be zero agreement across the board. So how are you going to... It doesn't work.
No.
That's, with petitions, that's the difference between a petition like that, because they did that with Return of the Jedi, with The Last Jedi, which is nonsense as well.
Yeah.
That's the difference between a petition for that and the petition to say bring back Firefly. That's the sort of thing you can get behind, because actually if they see, 200 million people want a show to come back, they might go, well, hang on a minute, we could do that. That's money in the bank for us.
Yeah.
But this new wave of like petitions to kind of get people to redo stuff, and we'll just get back the visual effects team. They're just chilling in the pub somewhere. We'll just get them back in.
Yeah.
How quickly can you knock a dragon up? I can do that in a week, mate. No problem. It's just come on.
I feel like we shouldn't be allowing regular old people to just start petitions all the time either. Have you seen the one online at the moment that's literally on like change.org or something? That's to get Danny DeVito to play Wolverine.
Really?
I mean, the idea of that is funny as a joke. Like, Danny DeVito as Wolverine because he's short, and it'd be funny. Like, that's really, actually, and I love Danny DeVito. So, like, if somebody on, like, SNL did a skit of that, I think it would be probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But we all know it's not going to happen as a movie. It's Danny DeVito. What are you thinking? Why do we have a petition for that? That's actual madness.
I know.
We've all gone to do lolly. Anyway, Game of Thrones, it was good though.
Yes. So it was. I really enjoyed it, and I just thought overall it was a phenomenal series, and I am sad to see it go. But it's my pick of the fortnight. Game of Thrones. Dum dum da da dum dum. Everyone's dead.
You said you weren't going to spoil it.
It's not a spoiler.
To be fair, I don't care, because I'm one of those people that doesn't watch Game of Thrones but isn't now allowed to say that I don't watch Game of Thrones, because there's like a whole mob of people running around the internet going, oh God, people who say they don't watch Game of Thrones, shut up there. Like, but I don't know. Like, if somebody asks me, I'm not going to say yeah, because I don't. It's quite funny. I went to Costa Coffee the other day, and my barista, like, we've got a bit pally because we were talking about Endgame recently, and I went in and he was like, oh my God, did you watch it? Did you watch Game of Thrones? And I was like, no. I'm sorry. There were too many white men with beards that I couldn't tell apart, so I gave up on it very early. I have a hard time with names and faces anyway. Too many white men with beards. Sorry. The end. Anyway, shall we move on?
Yes, we should move on.
Let's do a little bit of... Oh no, my computer's done something weird. Don't do that. No, quit. Right, I've quit, it's fine. Okay. Let's do a little bit of musical musings. That was a little bit medieval, I feel like. Quite enjoyed it. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. Hey, do you want to go first? Because I started with the picks of the fortnight.
Yes, I'm going to go first. I picked this one because I don't think even though this is really, really well known musical musing, I don't think I've picked it before. So okay. I'm gonna go for it and then see whether or not I have or not.
I'm not going to remember.
So this film I remember going to see, and this was, in many ways, I think this was probably the first superhero film that I saw, I think. Actually, that's not true, because I used to watch the old Batman as a kid. So this is the first superhero film I saw at the movies. There we go. And it started with this music, and I didn't even need to see the film to know that this film was going to be not special, but that I was in. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? I was just whatever this film was going to give me, I'm in. I'm just in. And my musical musing choice is Superman, the movie, the main theme, or the Superman March. I think, is it called Superman March?
I believe so. Yeah.
By John Williams. They literally don't do themes like that anymore. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. It's epic. I love it. I never get tired of listening to it. I think even though they've tried to do Superman a couple of times since then, with different actors to kind of varying levels, degree of success, I've never been able to, and they've given them their own themes and stuff. Every time I see them, I still keep humming the Superman theme. I almost wish to just go, you know what, let's just reuse Superman theme. Whoever we get to play Superman, we'll just give him the theme, because you're halfway there if you do that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like, me and my mum have a habit of going to see the Birmingham Symphony Orchestra whenever they're doing a John Williams night, because it is always totally fucking epic, and they will almost always either start or finish with Superman, because it's just, oh my god, it's like, it's properly rousing, isn't it? It's properly like, this shit's gonna save the day.
I mean, when it kind of, and what I quite like about it as well is it starts really quietly. You know, and whenever you hear that now, you just hear those opening beats. You're like, oh, okay, it's on now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing, and it sweeps up this kind of majestic, and it almost feels like it's him running in and him taking off and flying. You know, and then the way it settles down into the sort of Lois Lane theme, which is a beautiful theme on its own anyway, but the way they use it within the main theme is stunning, and then it comes back in to like the sort of main sort of Superman theme. It's a masterclass in soundtrack.
I wholeheartedly concur, and I feel like my choice is not going to stand up to that.
Boom, mic drop.
How dare you?
Soz.
I feel like following that up with, hey, so I recently saw Detective Pikachu. he's gonna go down like a lead balloon. That's what I'm about to say. So, hey guys, I recently saw Detective Pikachu. And that film is like 1,000% better than it really has any right to be as a Pokemon movie. Honestly, it's really good. I gave it like 4.5 stars out of 5. And I'm not even that into Pokemon. I'm very into Ryan Reynolds, as everybody knows. Yes. He does the voice of Pikachu. So, you know, that was a little bit of a bonus. But it's such a weird movie, because it's like, it's obviously made for the younger audience, but there's some like really hilarious stuff in it. Like, there's a Mr. Mime scene that had me crying, and considering I was genuinely terrified of Mr. Mime prior to this movie, I think that's actually quite a good going, to be fair. But the soundtrack is done by Henry Jackman, who he's got like a lot of like top tits movies under his belt, like Big Hero 6 and a couple of the Captain America movies and X-Men First Class, and like all sorts of, he's got like thousands.
He did Civil War as well, I think.
Yes he did. The song I chose is called Rhyme City, but I do think there are better tracks on the album, but they've all got very spoilery titles. Right. So I'm not going to. I'll just say Rhyme City, but really just go and listen to the whole album. What he does really well, and I think it's perfect for this movie, is he mixes like big bombastic orchestral stuff with like bloopy video game synths. So it definitely feels like a video game movie, but at the same time it has that kind of like epic feel to it. Yeah. I absolutely loved it. I wasn't expecting like the soundtrack to be something that hit me when I was watching. To be fair, I wasn't expecting any of what I got from that movie. I was going in thinking, oh, this will be alright, won't it? And I came out grinning from ear to ear. It's fucking brilliant, that. So I liked it a lot. But yeah, give the soundtrack a whirl. It's really, really good. It's good fun to listen to. I've been slapping it on while I've been at work, squirreling away, and it's it's good. It's good times. It's no Superman, but
hey,
but it'll do, I guess.
Hey, you do what you can.
Let's do a really quick theme tune. There you go.
Cool. So, even that, I don't know if we even introduced Moments of Geekdom, but this is what Moments of Geekdom. And as we've not done the feature before on this feed, basically one of us will pick a moment. It is one of us, isn't it? Just picks it. Or if you listen, yeah. We'll pick a moment of geekdom, which is just a moment from TV, film, comics, games, you name it, where it's just floored us. It's just a moment that's just stayed with us. So my moment of geekdom is I've picked this one because I turn 50 next week. Yay! And this comes from a film that pretty much made me a geek. Well, actually, it made me a writer. This is the film that made me a writer. So the film is Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'd like to give the whole film a moment of geekdom, to be honest. And it's really difficult to kind of pick a sort of moment. But the moment I kind of picked, I'm calling The Escape from the Peruvian Temple. So it's the sequence where Indy is just kind of, he's got the idol. He's right at the start of the film. He's got the idol. He's got out of the temple. He's met with Belloq. Belloq's giving him a bit of stick. Indy's got away and he's legging it to the plane. And one of the things I love about it, now there's many scenes in Raiders that I love anyway, but one of the reasons I love this theme, I love this scene, is because it gave me my love of seaplanes, but also it's because it's the first time you hear the Indiana Jones theme.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a spectacular scene where he's getting chased and he gets onto the plane flies off, and just when you think it's all settled down, there's a giant snake in the plane, and you realise he's got a fear of snakes, and then that comes back later. And it's just the culmination of, I think, one of the best introductions of a heroic character in a film for me. Just that whole sequence from start to that end bit, just brilliant.
I can't really add anything to that, because it is definitely a cracking way to open a movie. Like, that's how you do it, isn't it? You just slap everybody in the face with exactly what your movie is and how fun and cool it's going to be.
And also as well, I think I don't know if it was George Lucas, Steven Spielberg said, like, you know, it's the fact that they wanted to start the movie with the end of another movie. Yeah. Because effectively you kind of come in, it feels like you've come in midway, well, you've come in at the finale of a completely different Indiana Jones movie. Mm-hmm. And then it's almost like, oh shit, I've obviously popped to the toilet for too long and the film's nearly over. You know, and then it finishes and then the real story starts. You know, so what's happened in that opening sequence has nothing to do, other than the Belloq connection, has nothing to do with what then follows, really.
Yeah.
It's just, and they keep that theme up throughout the films, but they just nailed it in Raiders for me. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, can't really add anything to that. It is kind of a perfect start to a movie.
Yep. And I think I'm going to go and get a bowl of cornflakes now, or crunchy nut flakes, and go and watch Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, nice. I'm going to Pride.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing this definitely Saturday morning.
Yes.
Doing a pride parade, and then tomorrow I'm doing a 10k for charity that might kill me because I'm wildly unfit.
Let's hope not, eh?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I suppose the one bonus would be if I did die, I reckon I'd probably raise more money.
That's Stace, always looking on the bright side.
And on that cheery note, have a bloody brilliant Saturday, and all the other days, everyone. Do us a tweet at Stacey's Parlour or at Geek Syndicate, and we'll see you in a couple of Saturdays when Barry will be bloody well 50.
Yes.
And I'll still be 33 and sprightly.
Thanks.
But not sprightly enough to do a 10k.
And I'd just like to say that because I'll be turning 50, I've got a couple of slots as a kind of aged mentor in the style of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't do self-sacrifice, but I will do mentoring of varying things, like teaching people useful stuff and dropping a bit of knowledge.
Yeah. How to run a one-man show called Rum Tum Tugger.
That's right. That's right. I've got some news for Rum Tum Tucker, but I'm going to save that for next episode.
Oh, wow, what a tease. Oh dear. Love you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Mwah.